I'm just gonna give myself over to Nicole Kidman.
Love a like straight girl being like, just me and my gay boys, like dancing the night away.
You are very poor and white.
My toxic trait, my first thought, that's gonna do numbers on Instagram.
She's Canadian. That's not a slur in Canada.
I mean, who's gonna do the acting? I'm not sure.
It has to do with being a Nepo baby, and I know that.
I'm literally healed now.
I can't help that when I come to this space, I'm living a life of like straight girl, solemn, like I'm so like, I don't know, what's the word? I'm so domestic.
Oh.
And you like live this life of gay chaos.
I'm literally healed now. What do you mean? What do you mean?
It depends on who you ask.
Hold my hand with me. It's okay. Come on, give me your hand. It's okay to be straight. I think we need to normalize heterosexual culture.
We don't need to normalize it. We actually don't.
We actually do, because too many of your people think they're my people, and it's starting to mess me up a little bit.
You know what? I did watch Kissing Jessica Stein over the weekend. Have you ever seen it? Of course you have.
Yes, you've seen my wrist. How many silver rings do I have to have? Beware, Jesus.
Oh my gosh! But I was like, wait, this is like low-key kind of me. Like that would so be like my trajectory if I like dated a woman. I'd be like,
You're like,
I gotta go home.
Like, I've just been having a long sleepover, huh?
It's like, this is just one like long hangout.
And you would hate a long hangout. You get overstimulated after an hour.
I know. I'd be like, I actually need to go nonverbal and like just be on my phone for
That's
a little
why
bit.
you like movies so damn much, because it's peace and quiet.
It really is. It's like, I'm going, there's no expectation. I'm just gonna enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give myself over to Nicole Kidman, and it's called To Die For, or Birth, or Separate Wives, or Baby Girl, or.
Yeah.
No, this is my wholesome update.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm a mother. No drama.
Oh, just say it normal.
I'm a godmother. I'm a godmother. I'm a godmother.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's major.
It really is. It's really major. And I'm so honored. This is what happens. It's actually so crazy.
Yeah.
True story. So my best friend from childhood, growing up, Molly, I remember so distinctly, like, I actually found this text like the other day where I texted her. This was like when we were, it was like 20 years old, I think. So 10 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're my best friend. Like, wow, like, this is like, I just love you so much. Like, you're so important to my life. And I can't wait to like, I was like, I can't wait to like live in New York, and like you'll be like, we're both like achieving our dreams and all of this stuff. And she's like, oh my God, like, yes. And like, you're going to be my kid's godmother. And I'm like getting emotional even talking about it. And like now, like literally her dreams are coming true.
Did you find that screenshot?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, and I sent it to her and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so crazy.
My toxic trait, my first thought, that's going to do numbers on Instagram.
Wow. Like, you need to unhook yourself from capitalism.
Like, that's gonna go so hard in the carousel when you swipe and you see the
I like actually am tearing up. Like, it's so, yes. And she had a baby and we love her baby, and I am the godmother.
Wow. Oh, no, Hunter's legitimately, if you're just listening in and not visually tuning in, which is fine, Hunter, there are real tears forming in Hunter's eyes, which some of us didn't know was physically possible, but she has the capability.
You haven't seen me laugh at the Morocco trip on New York Housewives, because I have
which
cried
I just
many a time during that Scary Island. Anyone? I cried on this podcast recounting Scary Island.
But the other kind of crying, Hunter.
Yeah.
Come on. Please, God, you need to finish that damn book. You need to finish emotionally. Damn it, I already messed it up. Adult children of emotionally immature parents. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I have a wholesome update. Well, actually, you know what that reminded me of? So I was like, what is like a version
It's about
of
to
that?
not be wholesome at all. I already know.
Well, me and my friend Evan, if you don't know the lore, Evan Nicole Brown, we always have to use her government name. We're both Libra moons, so know that like when we meet people, the first text, like we like have 10 minutes of an interaction, we immediately will text the other one being like, wait, not me just meeting like my husband or wife. And then we'll like ask the other one to screenshot it to be like, for the moment, for like when this actually pans out
for the carousel.
Guess what? It doesn't pan out, by the way. But like, it's just like, that's our version of this, but yours is actualized and ours is like, damn girl, time to crack up the artist's way. Like, it's different.
Your version is like, oh girl, delete that. Delete it.
No, Evan literally will like circle back to the text and be like, never mind, by the way. The text from like months ago. But my actual wholesome update is that I have my last Spanish class today.
Oh, wow. Yeah. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
What did you take in high school? French?
Spanish.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You seem like you would take French.
You would think that, yeah.
You know,
and I probably should have. I think, just because I didn't learn any Spanish. It's so crazy to imagine like going to high school like language class and like actually learning the language. Like that's called getting your money's worth. I can't believe I went to private school and I took Spanish for 8 years and I barely know any Spanish.
The one thing I did in high school, this felt like a much more helpful and immersive class. And also like shout out to some of like the recommendations and podcasts and things that my teacher gave me. Love her. But more so in high school, the only thing I remember is doing
oh God, this is about to be something so annoying. And it was like you and like.
I wonder if you can guess. What did I do but in Spanish?
It's you and Cary Grant's granddaughter singing in the rain with original props from the original set.
What does that have to do with Spanish class?
It has to do with being a Nepo baby, and I know that.
Okay, well, it was me and Sienna East. Shout out to her.
Who was that?
It was just my friend in high school. And
not
we
a
did
Nepo baby?
Not a Nepo baby, just a regular girl.
They existed.
Her parents were teachers at a university. But
you're like, they're teachers in the Dead Poets Society.
Shut up. But we did a Spanish version of Twilight.
Oh.
And I got a C. For obvious reasons.
That's just called growing up a girl of a certain time. Yeah.
No, I was playing all the characters. I was kind of really committed. I played Bella and I played Edward.
Did you see the clip of Travis? No, what's the other Kelsey brother's name? Jason? I think it is Jason. Anyway, him being like, oh, that guy, the werewolf in Twilight, he was such a loser. He was never gonna be into her. What have you seen this clip?
Oh wait, yes,
him talking to his wife. Twilight, yes.
And Travis is so over it.
No, it's not. It's his wife. Wait, it's Jason Kelsey's wife. Kylie.
Oh, but they also talk about it on the
show. I
haven't
seen that clip.
Twihards.
They should almost come on the show.
Yeah.
They should almost come over here.
We should talk Twilight with Travis and Jason.
What are we talking about this week? We're going to be talking about Pop Girl State of the Union. Anyone? I listened to so much Tate McRae to prepare for this.
You're welcome.
And we're also going to be talking about a little, I will say, horror program called The Baldwins.
And by we, it'll be Hunter and I'll be listening alongside you.
I dutifully have been watching this show. It is so beyond.
And I'm so scared. And we're joined by Ben Mandelker and Ronnie Karam of Watch What Crappens to talk all things Bravo.
You act like you really clock in when you don't even know where Luann goes.
I was smoking a cigarette because I was stressed out.
So hold on, let me say this. Are you looking for a home for your worst opinions?
Are you a hater first, but a lover of pop culture second? Consider this a glorified group chat. But we're not calling you out. No. We're calling you in. Safe space.
To talk shit.
But of course. From Wondery, I'm Peyton Dix.
And I'm Hunter Harris.
And this is Let Me Say This.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
It's time to check on our pop girls, our pop princesses. Because there's always the Gaga, there's always the Beyonce, there's like some evergreen girlies, but then there are some up and comers.
Yeah,
I feel like I kind of think about this as like our white boy of the week, but like our pop sisters of the semester.
You don't really have a white boy of the week. You have like a Danny DeVito.
White boy of all time.
Yeah. So I'm surprised to hear you say that. This is how up the new girls are.
Up.
I got a text from my dad.
Oh my God.
70 years old at 4:00 in the afternoon yesterday. And he said, do you listen to Tate McRae?
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Hunter,
I will show you the text. I know I wanted to see your organic reaction. I was saving it for the podcast. And that's
crazy.
I know. And I was like, I need to know more, but I simply have to watch the Oscars right now.
I wonder how it got into his ether, because I did see her during the Oscars on a, what was it, Neutrogena commercial.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I think she was on SNL.
When I was walking here, also, who's in Times Square? Tate McRae.
I was gonna say like an off-brand Sesame Street character.
That too.
Many such cases. Right. Okay, I need to talk about Tate McRae. I love that song Revolving Door.
New album. Hey.
What is it called?
The album?
Yeah. Checks notes.
Yeah, sorry, babe. So Close to What?
Yeah, that sounds Gen Z to me.
Yeah.
But Revolving Door I love. And the oh my gosh, what's her name? Flo Milli song I also love.
And Two Hands, let's talk about that.
And you know the song with Kid Laroi?
I don't actually.
Well, I like that one too. The thing about Kid Laroi though is that it sounds too much like Kendall Roy, A, and B, every time I hear a Kid Laroi verse, I'm like, I should be hearing Justin Davivius.
DeVavius.
Bieber.
That was a biblical name that you pulled out there. I just like, there's something to talk about this pipeline of like TikTok star and this very now realistic dream of becoming more of a household name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still so gagged that your father knows who what Tate McRae means.
I'll show you the text.
Oh my God. Could be a slur in some countries, but Tate McRae here?
She's Canadian. That's not a slur in Canada.
Yeah. That's just a girl with a hockey boyfriend.
Yeah.
Just a nice girl. But at first I wasn't into it. When she dropped like, it's okay, I'm okay. She was just like working too hard for it. But then the working hard for it is actually what really sold me into her.
Yeah.
She really wants this. She really wants to be famous and she wants to be a good enough singer. Dancer first, singer second.
Yeah. A lot of her songs give me like Pussycat Dolls. They give me a lot of kind of like Nelly Furtado. But in a way that I'm not gonna hate on it. I like that someone wants to be a pop star, especially in an age where it's like, you know, I love Billie Eilish, but like she's like not a pop girl, you know?
Yeah.
You know, feel the same way about Chappell Roan. She's pushing against the boundaries of like what it means for her artistry.
Yeah.
By like being too like, you know, in the news, in the scene in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, Selena Gomez hates being a pop star, unfortunately makes excellent pop music.
New release with Gracie Abrams.
Gracie Abrams.
She's just doing her own thing. Let her just do her own stuff in the corner.
She's reheating Taylor Swift's Oats.
Shut up. But there's something like, I don't think that anyone's actually like pinning these girls against each other yet. But there's the Addison Rae of it all, and then there's the Tate McRae of it all. And there's something for some reason that I've only heard great things about Addison. Let me start there.
Mm-hmm.
I've only heard from any friend that has met her. She's a Poppy Juice frequenter, which we love. Love a like straight girl being like, just me and my gay boys, like dancing the night away. But there's something that people, is that you?
Yeah.
You're locking the door, you're out. You're saying, Michael, stop texting me. I'm not going to the club. But Addison Rae, I think, has this sense that people think that it's like, oh, it's so much more authentic. But remember, Addison Rae not only came from TikTok, pivot to the Kardashians to even Obsessed, which was a great song, but the music video, the clothing, it's so visually different than everything that she's doing now. Like her working with Mel, who's the editor-in-chief of...
Mel Ottenberg?
Of Interview. And like, so this thing that she has now that is so... I love. I think it's Aquamarine, bop, hit.
Yeah.
Diet Pepsi music video, sex.
Yeah.
What's a new song? High fashion. It took me a minute. I found my way to high fashion, but the fits were giving. I loved the music video. I love this whole like look that she's built. Rebrand, very possible. And I think it's possible if Tate McRae, if we let her cook, could really work.
Yeah, but also what you have to remember is that like when Charli XCX started, she was not, you know, so dissimilar, but she was still an earlier version of herself. I think a lot of the stuff like, oh, she's like rebranding. It's like, that's called growing up. That's called like you became famous from TikTok at 20. And maybe, I don't know. I feel like people are too like dismissive of like, well, she didn't used to want to be this. Well, yeah, because when I'm 19, I don't really know what I wanted. I wanted to work in media.
And look at us now.
Yeah.
Honestly, still kind of working in media.
Yeah, but media has a different medium.
Adjacent.
Yeah. But I can give a lot of grace to people being like, you know.
And that's said from a true Miley Cyrus fan.
It sure is.
If we learn anything.
Sure is.
You can pivot as many times as you want, queen.
And we can still be pivoting. Miley Cyrus, who famously every age at once, as I always say. That's how she is 45. Yep. She was on a TV series for many years and then pivoted from that to a music career. I mean, many such cases. J-Lo trying to do the same thing still in the process. I like Addison Rae. I thought her Rolling Stone cover was like fun. Why not? Why not?
A little early, some might say.
But I think she is, you know, a kind of test case for what we're talking about. Where it's like when it's funny that like TikTok is the way that seasoned established artists have to go to like make something become a hit, and these are like more organic talents who have used TikTok even before they had a real like artistic ambition. Which is interesting. Do you feel the kind of like if Tate McRae always gets like the Britney Spears comparison, then Addison Rae is getting what, the Lana comparison? Who do you like?
Well, I actually think that she's getting the Britney treatment. Addison, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I felt like there were even whispers when everyone was talking about the Britney movie that Addison, I mean, who's going to do the acting, I'm not sure. I saw that Netflix movie. Sorry, Queen, we all have our Achilles heel. But I do think Addison has this like bubblegum appeal to her that I don't know if Tate has. Like, and I don't know either of their ages actually, but I know they're just.
Tate McRae's 21. I looked it up.
You're joking.
She was born in 2003. That's why.
After
that's
9/11?
That's why when her choreographer said she'd never seen the Crazy in Love music video, I was like, oh, okay. Now she's like, she's making a case for why she hadn't seen it.
Does anyone have a vape in here? I feel like, oh my God, I'm stressed now.
I know you have to put on a pimple patch. You want to put on a star face.
I at least thought 26 or something. But okay, going back, I do think that Addison has this like universal appeal to her because she genuinely seems to be, I'm not saying Tate isn't, a very bubbly, precious, nice, young, like wide-eyed, bushy tail kind of thing about her.
It just seemed like someone who does shrooms.
You think she does shrooms?
Yeah.
No.
I
she just seems like she doesn't do coke. Okay. Tate seems like someone that would like pick up for you, but maybe not do it. You know what I mean?
Huh.
No, Hunter doesn't know what I mean. She doesn't do drugs. But, which, you know, if you're her parent listening to this, thank God. My parents listening to this be like, and you?
They're like, pan that camera over.
Yeah, you better be nodding along. But I think that when those comparisons were made, I could see it a lot more clearly. Like, but I mean, they both have dance backgrounds up the ass. So,
what do you think about Tate McRae doing that like high kick into like back bend?
So incredible. But I have a dance background. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to get ahead of the narrative.
Here we go.
Okay. And so sometimes to me, there's movers and there's dancers. And I feel like Addison to me actually gives dancer and Tate gives, yes, she's super flexible, hits and beats mover because she's doing choreo to me that doesn't feel expressive. It feels like you're competing on So You Think You Can Dance and you're just trying to get like, you're doing a bunch of impressive tricks to get America to vote for you.
Yeah, it also kind of reminds me of Normani at that one VMAs, I think.
was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where she, where she was doing Motivation live. And it was like, this is so, it's dancey, but it's very gymnastics. It's very my cousin bringing me into the backyard and saying, I'm about to do this trick. Can you watch? That's what it's kind of giving. And I feel that a little bit from that, more than a little bit of that from Tate McRae.
I will say, I'm the cousin in question.
Totally.
That was me in another life with Hunter.
And I'm already getting a headache from it. Yeah. I'm already like, okay.
But I mean, I feel like kind of excited by their careers. I want to see like what happens next for them. I think I'm a little bit leaning more if we have to pit legends against each other, Addison than I am Tate. But I'm a Tate or Tot. I'm a Tate. What do people, someone called him, I think Ira, McRacist.
Oh.
Like... she doesn't give me racist.
No.
She seems like too simple a white girl to be racist.
Yeah, she gives like white girl that like wears Mac down. That's what she gives me. Yes. That being said, I know what's next for me.
Say it.
I'm gonna listen to Revolving Door. I love that song. I love it.
Got my 2 hands on me. Okay, Tate understudy.
Cut, please. My God. We're gonna be here all day.
Yeah.
I need to tell you something.
No.
I know, but they, as we speak right now, are inventing new luncheons for a Mona singer to go to in Florida. Every day she's somewhere new, eating something. It's like 2 days ago was Michael Kors. Yesterday she was at Mar-a-Lago doing something at some luncheon.
Shocking to no one. Sure.
And I'm like, wait, you're busier now than she ever was when she was on Ronnie, which is
she's booked.
She's booked, she's busy. What can I say? But we're like, Bravo novices. We have 2 Bravo experts with us today.
If you're a Bravo novice, I'm a Bravo baby. But we're here to learn. This is why we're here. Yeah.
We're genuine learners and we love to learn about Bravo. Today with us, we have the hosts of Watch What Crappens, who are currently on tour across North America, brag, Ben Mandelker and Ronnie Karam.
Hi. Hey. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for educating the youth because I know nothing. I am a toddler in the Bravo world, so just know that as we get into this conversation, okay?
What'd you start with?
I started actually with, I think Potomac was my first venture, and then I got bullied, harassed, and manipulated into, but thank God, New York. So we're there now. I started Salt Lake a little bit, but we'll get into this more.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing I want to ask you guys, are you a lover or a hater?
Lover.
Oh,
Big time lover.
Lovers. Yeah, we're lovers. I mean, I'm a hater. My personality type is that I'm kind of a hater. Like, that's just kind of my humor. But I do it out of love. I think if we hated it, we wouldn't be able to do it every day. You know?
Yeah.
The times that it veers into hate, it gets super uncomfortable. And people are like, Jesus, why are you so mad? You know? Mm-hmm.
You have to love hard to like be a hater a little bit. Like, that's how I feel about it.
That's what my therapist says.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Hunter. She's in the room with us right now. Okay, quick little rapid fire of some of our favorite girls.
Yes. Okay. Lover or hater of Bethany Frankel?
Ooh,
Equal.
That's
Equal.
Yeah, she's a yin and a yang because, like, you know, there's something wonderful about Bethany. She is like a raw, open, festering wound, which is like disgusting. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to see it. You're like, please go away. Please get that treated. But at the same time, you have to like just be so impressed with her willingness just to let that wound be out in the air. And like when she goes onto Bravo and she is on these shows, she is really compelling TV. I mean, she really has a talent, but then you also are like, do I want to support this? And it's a big vacillation.
Lover or hater, Ramona Singer?
Oh my God, love and hate. I mean, both of them. And I think Bethany is, I love Bethany. I love to hate Bethany because she's so obnoxious, but I also have to see what she's given us, you know? And Ramona's the same way. I mean, Ramona, you look at, and especially Ramona's recent history, like her last season of the show, I mean, just monstrous. But people got so mad, and I was like, where have you been? What show have you even been watching? Like, have you been watching this with a blindfold on? She's a monster. She's always been a monster. You know?
Like, she's actually just consistent. Yeah.
No, this is very key because I was listening to your guys' Ronnie reunion recap, and like the way that Ramona and Luann and all of like that, like the OG women can be so bad, but like in a camp way where you kind of just can't look away versus like the Bryn or the Aaron where it's like,
yes.
In addition to being like pretty terrible people, you're also like not good on television. Like you're not making good TV.
Exactly. Ramona's terrible, and I always go through that. Like when people ask me, like, "Do you miss Ramona?" Like I go through the good side of me says, "Well, we shouldn't be giving platforms to terrible people because she's awful, and we shouldn't be doing that." But then I'm always like, but she made such good TV. Like there was something so good, and the interactions with her and the rest of the cast was actually so genuine and real. And like watching like Luann just shut Ramona down over and over again is just like so funny.
And look, if you don't put people on a platform, you don't have anything to push them off of.
Okay,
no, that shook the table.
That was powerful.
That shook the table.
Somebody write that down right now.
Yes, no, that's gonna be my first tattoo actually. Yeah. Okay, I'm switching franchises. Lover or hater of Kenya Moore?
Both.
Yeah.
God, you're picking such good ones because Kenya's another one who it's like I see everything that she's contributed, and a lot of that is laughs to me. I mean, I've laughed so hard at Kenya over the years, and then she's hit those points where here's where I start the hating. Show up to work. And I feel like a lot of times Kenya's just like, no, I don't like this. And she just wouldn't show up, or she would be hours late. And she was just like, you're below me. I'm not even going to fight with you. Yeah. And that's when I start getting like, oh, you're wasting my time, you know, because like I'm sitting here waiting for you to show up to work and you're not coming. But to think of a season without her is depressing me. So I have to like understand that I also love her enough that I miss her already.
Oh, that was so Kim Kardashian of you. Nobody wants to work anymore.
I'm actually a little bit more. I'm a little bit more on like solidly love with Kenya. I don't think I have really hate for her. I think that she's like a villain, but like unlike Bethany or Ramona, where I'm like, oh, they're such terrible people that I'm like, but at the same time I want to watch them. With Kenya, I think I just sort of purely want to watch her. I agree with Ronnie. She did kind of check out over her last few seasons, which I blame on Mark and that divorce, because I think she was on like goody two shoes behavior for like custody, and I think she was drained by all of that. But she is so effortless as being a villain when she is clocked in. And you know, I've already watched the first episode of the new season, and I'm not giving anything away, but like it's just so effortless how she can just come in and just be so shady. So I am really I think I love Kenya. Yeah.
Ooh, that's key. We need someone who is like willing to say like the unsayable thing at dinner with the girls. You know, like the person who's like gonna like kind of get the ball rolling on the drama.
Let's get started on talking some shit, shall we?
But she can also like inject tension in a totally benign moment, and that's what's so amazing. Like she can just make like, hey, I brought you a coffee. That could be the source of like a feud because she just knows how to start it up.
Yes.
And to close this out, actually, are you a lover or hater of Karen Huger?
Love. Pure love.
I can never hate Karen Huger.
You both say that in unison too. Oh my God.
Oh, I just love her. I mean, she is so effortlessly delusional. I mean, even her DUI tape, it's like the best thing of the year. Why wasn't that at the Oscars? Like, what is that being nominated for? It was amazing. Thomas Jefferson's concubine. I mean, come on. I love her.
What did she say to the cop? She's like, you are very poor and white. It's like, what?
No, I'm saving that for later.
Like
that. There's a few people that deserve that.
I saw a meme that said Sutton to Dorit, and it was that.
We thought that was like going to be the controversial question because her DUI drama is kind of up there as like one of the crazier housewives scandals, but you guys are the experts. Where do you think that ranks?
Oh, DUIs are like fairly like, DUIs in life are terrible. DUIs on Real Housewives are just kind of like par for the course. They just sort of happen. And what I love about a Real Housewives DUI is that they're always really crazy. Like you have Shannon Medore who like drove her car into a building, and we saw like the Keystone Cops video of that, and then
pretended she was just walking her dog, which
just walking her dog.
Wait, she kind of ate that.
You have Karen Huger with this whole situation. You have Countess Luann de Lesseps who did not get a DUI, but she was wasted and got arrested, and she slipped out of her handcuffs and told the police officers, "I'm going to kill you all." Like that. How does that even happen?
That was actually so iconic.
She was arrested because she was banging somebody in the wrong room. She was so drunk that she went to the wrong room and the door was open or something, and she just started like having sex with somebody. So I mean, these are like great, and I can't be morally outraged by things watching Housewives. You can't mix the two, or you'll never watch one.
Yeah. That is a key delineation, I think.
Slipping out of handcuffs, that's powerful. Skinny Legend, oh my God.
Luann can do it all. Excuse me. She's not at that part in her Ronnie journey yet. She doesn't know.
Tilda Swinton just opened for her for something.
Yes, at her cabaret. Tilda Swinton.
Yes, over the weekend, Tilda Swinton like introduced her. Academy Award winner Tilda Swinton skipped the Oscars. I don't know if she was invited, but I'm gonna say that she was invited and she skipped it to introduce Luann.
Because money can't buy you class.
That is power. That's real power.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask, across all the franchises, who is like GOAT Housewives for you?
Luann is mine. Luann, I've said it a million times before. For the things we just talked about, she slipped out of handcuffs, which is kind of like no housewife has done that. But also, she started off as a countess, and she was all about like manners and class and etiquette and being prim and proper. And the next thing you know, she's like fucking a pirate, which also no one has done. And then she goes to jail. She has a whirlwind wedding. She goes to jail. She comes back as a cabaret star. Now she's got Tilda Swinton opening for her. Like the chapters in Luann's book just keep on going in such strange directions that I just don't think anyone compares.
Wow, that's a great answer.
Yeah, mine are, I love Nene Leakes. I mean, no one compares to the amount of gifts that woman is even still in on every thread about housewives or non-housewives. It could be about regular news, and you still see Nene pop up in every comment section. I love her. I think she's fun. I think she had kind of a bad end. She got a little too toxic towards the end, but I loved her. I still love Lisa Vanderpump, and it's kind of controversial, but I don't care. I love her, and I love her like fun manipulations, and I just loved her. I thought she was great.
That's very interesting to me because I've watched most of Atlanta. My dog's middle name is Lenethia because I love Nene Leakes so much.
Cute.
My dog only follows 3 people on Instagram: me, Nene, and Remy Ma, because she's named after Remy Ma.
Sure.
But I think I'm watching Beverly Hills. I'm on season 4, I think, and there's something about like Lisa Vanderpump and Brandi Glanville and like Nene Cynthia to me, where it's like someone
very
like
much,
a kind of like alpha and beta friendship that I know immediately like will kind of sour eventually. But interesting. Oh my god,
you'll have fun with that one.
But
Brandi goes completely cuckoo.
Brandy is, it's weird because I don't think of Brandy as being a beta, but she's not an alpha. She's just like, she's in a different alphabet that just sort of fell into this situation.
She what?
She played beta for Vanderpump, and then she just couldn't take it anymore. And then she went crazy. And then she like completely switched it up, which I think is why she's one of the most hated. But Lisa Vanderpump's just effortless disdain, but it was always fun, you know. It was like, ugh, shut up. I just really liked her and her fuzzy little dogs, and you never knew if that dog was alive or dead, and then it would die, but then she'd show up with another one that looked just like it, you know. There's just something so weird about her that I love.
God, I love women.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was just gonna say that's so funny to hear. I'm season 4 or 5 of Housewives of New York, and so to me, hearing all this about Luann, it sounds shocking.
Well, no, I know, because when I first started watching, I was like, oh, Luann is so like Marnie, Allison Williams from Girls. And someone's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm starting from the beginning. Like, I don't know. But the way that she in season 1 is like telling Bethany, you need to have your driver call me Countess. And like by season whatever, she's like, I don't know. Like she's fully hungover and Bethany's telling her your boyfriend is cheating on you.
Yeah.
Like,
the only thing that I don't like about it right now is I'm like, oh, she's such a bitch. She's so judgy. And so like, you know, holier than thou, but this is, let me get into this, Luann, because that sounds like my sister.
But by the way, that's a feature, not a flaw for me.
Okay, all right, okay, so we have a toxic trio here, okay.
But kind of a housewife's journey, and what makes them like great in the end is when they're just so high on themselves, and then you just watch life beat them down. And I always say it's like that movie where Robert Redford has to like train horses or whatever, and like he has to break the horse and for the horse to ride. Like I grew up in Texas and around horses sometimes. I never really knew about that, like the breaking the horse and how they just have to be brought down until they're finally like a good horse. And I think, and I hate comparing, you know, like I'm not comparing women to horses. I'm just saying that the idea of like, they have to be so wild and crazy, and then life just gets them, you know? And life really got Luann. I mean, it got her good. And then she came out stronger for it, you know? So, well, I don't know, stronger, but more fun.
I feel like someone else has happened to, where like they, like you go on the show and like trying to act like very like proper, and then eventually you can't keep up the facade anymore, because that we can tell that it's fake. We can tell that's my problem, honestly, with the Ronnie reboot. It kind of feels like we're watching people acting a version of their life without like the real kind of like, you have to be, you know, you have to be ego real. Death to be a real housewife.
But what's great about Luann is that when she joined the show, that was her life. She was a countess. She was in this, like, she's married to this guy who, like, whose family built the Panama Canal or was like part of that. And like, so she had, that was her life and that was how she acted. And then it all went away by season 2. And then it starts to crumble away. And then you're going to see her like realize that she has a second chance at it with Tom D'Agostino. And it's such like a, it's like such a like whatever happened to Baby Jane version of like the original. And it's just like, it just crumbles and crumbles and crumbles. And honestly, if you really want the full context, I highly recommend trying to find this one show that Bravo did. I think Bravo was going to do kind of like behind the music or each true Hollywood story for their housewives. And so they did a 1-hour episode that was focused on like the life and times of Luann from before she was like a real housewife. And she was the only one they ever did it for. And her whole backstory is like just so perfect. It just adds more to it. She's like, she has a family. She's from Connecticut. She was like a nurse. And then she wound up going to Italy and became like a game show host. And then she met her husband and they were living in Switzerland. And she got in a car accident where she drove off of a cliff. Like it just gets crazier and crazier. And she got crabs from a guy on a plane that she sat next to. This is all the show.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for telling me that. Thank you. You've really rocked the course of my day.
Wow. We got to follow up podcast from that one. Yeah, alone. My God.
That is unreal. Okay, so I do think, I wonder what you guys think of this. Are we kind of at an inflection point where a lot of the, or not a lot, but some of the franchises are being either like rebooted, Ronnie, or kind of retooled like Atlanta, where it is like a mostly new cast? And why do you think that is?
Well, I think it needs that. And I think that they're kind of relying on the old stars of them a little because they're just so crazy and they feel like they can't find anybody like wacky anymore. Like you brought up the new New York a couple of times, and that they're like, let's just really try getting people who people identify with. Like, let's get Erin. She just wants kids and she doesn't really want to do anything. But she likes fashion. You know, people don't want that. They need to find crazy people. I don't care. Walk into any room in the Upper East Side of New York and you'll find a freaking crazy middle-aged woman. It's not like they're hard to come by, but for some reason they're kind of trying to switch up their casting where they're like, let's get like young people who have a lot of Instagram followers. We don't care about that. We want to watch cartoon characters. So I think if they retool it and they have kind of their old school casting in mind, then they'll do okay. But if they keep trying this Real Housewives of New York route, it's just not going to work.
I think it's honestly like, you know, I think Bravo, you know, just everything I just said about Ramona Singer, how like, okay, we don't want to give terrible people a platform. That was like a really strong sentiment in pop culture around 2021 and et cetera. And that's right when like Ronnie had this like disastrous season, which I actually am going to contend that like it was a weaker season for them. I don't think it was a full on disaster. It still had many wild and crazy moments, but it was enough that Bravo said, okay, we have to change this because we're not going to support this anymore. And so I think they attempted to be like, we're going to give like good, like quote unquote, good people platforms. And like, these are going to be, instead of like the people that, that are tone deaf from like the Upper East Side, we're going to give like some cool people that you just want to go out and have a martini with. And it turns out we don't want to see that on TV. We want to see wild and awful problematic people from the Upper East Side, it turns out.
Wow. So as two people who are early in their Bravo journey, so I've done Atlanta and New York and starting Beverly, early days of Beverly Hills.
I've done most of Potomac, half of Atlanta, and now into Ronnie.
I feel like I'm a polyglot, the way I can like speak these different languages.
Yeah, you are in many ways. In many, many ways. Yeah.
What should our next franchise / any Bravo show be? I'm thinking I want to go from Beverly Hills into Pump Rules because I have to understand the Tom Sandoval stuff. He is so bizarre on Traitors right now. I must know more.
Yeah, his lore.
Well, Vanderpump Rules, the benefit of going into it is that it actually has a rich lore. Like when you're 10 seasons in and then you look back and you realize that you know so much about this group of people and their intertwined relationships, it's really special. However, there's no ticking clock on that because the new season isn't coming anytime soon. So I think you would be better served while you have some downtime in between its seasons. I think you should go to Salt Lake City because I think you want to, when the next season comes on, I think you want to be ready for it.
Okay. Because we did love that mom talk show.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah. Secret
Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yes.
I heard of it.
Yeah, we like that too, but that's totally different. I mean, Salt Lake City, the Housewives version, it's fun because now that you guys have watched kind of the best of the Housewives already. So now you're going to watch like the community theater version. It's like they're making it up. They don't know their lines. There's no one there helping them. Like half of their scenes are shot on the side of the road. I'm not even kidding you. They'll like pull over into a parking lot and shoot a party because no one will let them shoot. They're all like completely messed up and they're kind of dummies, but they're just doing it together. It's like an improv team. Like, let's do some bad improv.
And we went to Emerson College, so listen, we get it.
Wow.
It's so good.
And also,
it's so corny and they can't help being corny. And then as it gets into it, they get more real, but they don't mean to, you know? That's a good one.
Yeah. It's the only Real Housewives where an episode was interrupted by Homeland Security storming in. It's really
happens to the best of us.
No,
she didn't slip out of those handcuffs.
It's great. Seasons, especially seasons 2, 4, and 5 are exemplary. And then also, if you are sort of into something that I feel like is also excellent, but sort of doesn't get the same amount of attention and press as Salt Lake City these days, but Real Housewives of Miami is pretty like outstanding. Like it is.
Okay, work.
You know, yeah. The first season's like a little sort of shaky because it was supposed to be a different show, so they kind of were shaking it into a different mold. But then starting in season two is one of the best seasons of all time of any Real Housewives. Season 3 is like okay, and then it goes on like I think an 8-year pause, and it comes back. And ever since it came back, it has been so on fire. And we like Salt Lake City has taken up so much of the space and the other franchises, but Miami is like wildly entertaining.
Word.
I feel like I'm like talking to like two like expert matrons.
No, literally, I'm
like telling me like this is the best wine that we have open tonight. It's
correct.
been open, you know, it's from 1922. Like
this is an after school special for problematic people. Thank you so much for coming on and educating us.
Yes.
Where can people follow you?
We
or
are
find
at
your
watchwhatcrappens.com is where you can find all our links to like tickets for if you want to come see us. We're going all over North America, as you mentioned at the top of the show. And on Instagram, we're at watchwhatcrappens, and I'm at Ben Mandelker, and Ronnie's at Ronnie Karam on all social media.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. This was so much fun.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.
You know, there needs to be a segment called Things Peyton Won't Press Play On, but Hunter always will.
What can I say? I love mess.
It's a recap series, if you will.
I will always be on the front lines of some bull crap. I love the word bull crap.
Yeah,
it's my new favorite word. I love saying, oh, that's bull crap. Anyway,
so
speaking of bull crap.
Okay, yeah, what?
There is a social experiment airing right now, right this very moment, on Max via TLC, and it's called The Baldwins. And it is a docu-series. Calling it a docu-series makes it sound so much more official. It is simply just a reality TV show.
Correct.
In the vein of like Dawn and Kate +8, basically. Or even like an HGTV show, you know. Called The Baldwin. It's about Alec Baldwin and his wife, Hilaria.
Not you saying her name like that.
I'm like when Zoe Saldana says
Ariana.
But like rolls her R's. And it's about their family. And it's actually shocking that he was legally allowed to start filming a reality TV show as like right before he went on trial for manslaughter and through the trial too. Is that not like disqualifying like legally? I don't know.
I would have to assume, but I was going to ask, is it all out right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
It drops weekly, so we have some anticipation.
Oh, gosh.
At this time, I've seen episode 1. I'm going to watch episode 2 tonight.
Okay.
Because we're recording this like a little bit out of order this week. But it is one man against the world. The one man being Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Against the world, his wife, Hilaria. Hillary Thomas Baldwin, and their 7 children, and 8 animals.
So it is John and Kate +8, plus 24.
Except it's like, but it's like dark. It's not. It's like dark, but it's also like them trying to act like as if this is normal and not like, you know, severe image management, severe like we need money because we have so many children, is shocking to watch.
Where does it start?
It starts with them leaving to go to the Hamptons for the summer.
Right.
And they're trying to plan out what kid is going to go in what car. And some of this ends with Hilaria having all of the kids in her car and Alec having all the animals in his car. And he's like, I don't want to take any cats because I'm allergic to cats. And I don't want to have the cats in the car. And she's like, totally. Puts all the animals in his car.
Right.
There's like a baby walking around, like damn near putting their fingers in a light socket. Like there's a child on a countertop. Like there's 2 boys jumping on couches.
Yeah.
It is like it's like the first scene of like a movie about it's like the first scene of Amy Adams movie. Night Bitch. It's like the first scene of Night Bitch. It's like, someone is running or playing in your face.
And you cut to like a PA holding one of the babies being like, fuck.
It is shocking.
Oh.
What's also crazy is that, so Alec Baldwin is in his 60s.
Yeah.
Hilaria Baldwin is 25 years younger than him. And there's this like amazing fiction as they're like kind of setting the scene, like explaining their relationship, where the biggest controversy that Hilaria Baldwin has faced is like the age gap and that she's like with him for his money and the cachet of 30 Rock.
Right.
and not the fact that she fakes being Spanish.
Right.
And not the fact that like she speaks with a Spanish accent constantly despite having grown up in Boston her entire life. Eventually they get to that and she's like, well, of course I speak in Spanish with my kids. And it's like, huh, interesting. They take the kids to get a haircut, like their summer haircuts. And Alec Baldwin is like, what haircut should I get? Because like the boys have like their haircuts picked out. They take the sons to do this.
Okay.
He's like, text our like oldest daughter, like their oldest daughter together, not Ireland. So their daughter was like 14, I think. They're like, text her to like say, what haircut should I get? And she sends her father a photo of himself from 1985 when he did look hot.
As she should.
And he is so,
as she should.
His feelings are so hurt. It's like, I'm watching like elder abuse.
No, but I would do that to my father.
I know, but they're so mean to him. And he's like, all I want to do is like not go to prison and also like arrange like the refrigerator because he has OCD.
God forbid.
It's wild. He walks around the house like he's haunting it. Like,
I was gonna say, what's is it telling you?
Yeah. Because it's like watching. It's like it's just shocking. It's just so like, what could they think of next?
Also, were you a big 30 Rock person? Was that your
moderately? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I watched it in high school, but I only understood like half of the jokes.
Same.
Yeah.
But and still, actually,
well,
I feel like I still
pretend. I want to go back and watch. I mean, the funniest part about all of this is that famously about 11 years ago, Alec Baldwin was on the cover of New York Magazine. And I think the cover line was, I give up. And he wrote this whole essay, or it was like an As Told To, this whole thing about how he's like resigning from public life.
Right.
Because I think it was Anderson Cooper and some other like prominent gay New York City man called him homophobic. And he was like, he basically said, I'm sick of you guys catching me out. I did not say the F word when I was fighting with someone for a parking spot, or I was fighting with a photographer. And yes, you have a video of me calling my daughter like a spoiled rat.
Yes.
Like all of these awful things. But you know, the real perpetrator in me calling my daughter like a fat cow was actually Harvey Levin. Because TMZ shouldn't have ran it. And it's like, he did all of this and said, I'm never going to do anything public. I'm never speaking to a magazine about my life again.
Yeah.
Listen, daycare is expensive. And now he's on.
Out of retirement.
Now he's on TLC, baby.
He said, that was crazy to me. Anyway, so. Yeah.
He said, I'm not defined by my past.
We're back.
He's on trial for manslaughter. I didn't know that's possible. Anyway, I'm going to say you should watch.
Okay.
I know you're lying.
I probably won't.
I know you're
But
lying.
we'll check in again soon.
Yeah.
I'll let you get a few episodes in and then you can try
Everyone
and pitch
says I'm crazy for loving it, but I can't get enough.
Oh, God. Well, that's it for this week. As usual, we are 2 online, so you don't have to be.
I'm so excited to go home and maybe start watching Real Housewives of Miami.
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
And if we didn't sell you on our Tate McRae lifestyle, let Ethel Kane lock you in, okay? If you get an Ethel Kane cosign, it means a lot.
Ethel Kane is a big Tate McRae stan?
Absolutely. 2 hands.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. That sells me on it. And let me say this. I mark my words.
Marked.
Hilaria Baldwin is trying to make don't start laughing after I say her name, girl. She's trying to make her kids into the Kardashians. She wants to make the Baldwinitos into the Kardashians. I'm going to say no. Although she has sons, so, you know, they're not as ambitious.
Jesus.
Mercedes.